Okay, we're live again on the Azure and AI Show, and with me this evening is Arun Ramaswamy from India. He's going to do a talk on what is it again, Arun?
Network peering techniques in Azure.
Okay, Azure networking peering techniques. And Joseph is in Nigeria. Joseph is going to finish off some of the stuff on Microsoft Forms that he was at last week. And then we have Paul in the UK, London. Paul is going to do some stuff on Copilot prompts, I think, Paul.
That's hopefully, yeah. Let's give it a go.
Yeah, and we'll probably have Solomon Jeremiah do some stuff. We'll see how the timing goes. And myself, Frank Falvey here. By the way, I just want to say we have two Microsoft MVPs with us this evening. Recently, congratulations to Paul on your MVP. And
Thank you.
Solomon there is another MVP in the UK. So guys, Arun, can you share your screen with us?
Yep. Let me know once it is visible.
Yeah, sure. So on tonight we're streaming out through six different platforms: YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. So we're reaching a good audience. So anybody have any questions, pop it into the chat there on any of those platforms and we'll try and address them. Okay, Arun, I can see your screen. There you go.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Frank. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to one and all joining this session. My name is Arun Ramaswamy, and I am basically a lead Azure consultant in Evident, India. So I've been working in the Azure platform for the last 5 years, and I have completed a few of the Microsoft certifications like the 104, 305, Cosmos DB, or IAM, the identity and access management, and the network engineer. Right. So in today's session, I would like to discuss on the different network peering techniques that are available within Azure. So in this session, you would, after this session, you would be able to appreciate the different techniques. What are the differences, or uh, what are the scenarios in which you would be using these techniques to peer to VNETs within the Azure, or even from your on-premises. Okay. So with that, let me kickstart. So, to begin with, what is network peering? So, network peering is nothing but you have more than one virtual network. It can be a global network, or you're a global organization and you have multiple networks hosted within Azure, and you have multiple services within Azure that you are consuming, and you would like to have a virtual WAN setup wherein all your global organization or your tenant or your networks are interconnected with each other, and you would like to communicate with the resources, like, so that is the scenario. So how would you achieve this? So Azure provides a couple of techniques here. So one is you have the VNet to VNet peering using virtual network gateway, and the other one is direct VNet peering between two virtual networks. Okay, so what is the difference between these two? So the main difference is when you go for a VNet to VNet peering through a VNet gateway, it is basically encrypted, right? So you have a gateway, a virtual network gateway appliance sitting between two virtual networks, and you establish a tunnel between those two VNets using the virtual network gateway. So what you achieve here is basically you have an encryption tunnel between two virtual network, and any traffic or any communication that passes between these two virtual networks are encrypted. So when you talk about insurance domain or a banking and financial domain, or a financial service domain, right? So each and every transaction actually contains PII data, which is personally identifiable information. Right? They are very sensitive and are prone to be are vulnerable for uh, the hacking, right? So you have a stringent law wherein when you are communicating or when you are using these data, it is very important that these data are not exposed to the outer world. So any communication that happens between with these data or between these data, they are encrypted. So that is where this technique actually comes into picture. Okay? So when you are using this technique, the communication does not happen through a public internet or your the internet path. Okay, it happens in a Microsoft backbone. I mean, the communication happens via Microsoft backbone through an encrypted channel that you are creating. Okay, so this is the main functionality or main property of a virtual network gateway. And when you talk about the other one, right, direct peering between two VNets, what you achieve is a simple connectivity between two networks, yeah, over the public internet. So you will not have, or this when you actually do a peering, Microsoft gives you the option to have this communication in the Microsoft backbone again, right? So in this case, since you are not using any of the, you're not using the public network or the internet for communication, the communication tends to be much fast. I mean, much more faster and quicker when you happen to have a direct, VNet pairing between two VNets. Okay, but in case of a virtual network gateway, you will have a restricted speed of communication, because it depends on various factors like your encryption channel, the type of devices that you are using. Okay, because when you take a look at the MTR spec, right, or the next hop values, you will actually see an extra hop for the virtual network gateway, right? Which means an extra path added to the communication channel. So that is how your communication, or that is the reason why the latency is introduced into the virtual network gateway channel, because it is encrypted. You have the gateway virtual network gateway supported speeds, and you also have the concept of extra hop, right? So these three functionalities, or these three factors contribute to the slowness in your communication, but it is encrypted and it is safe and secure. Okay, so these are the this is the main difference between your communicate between the two techniques. Okay, so based on what is your requirement, you could choose one or the other. Okay, so in today's session we'll see both of these options, right? So let me show you the architecture that I'll be following today. Frank, you're able to see my paint here. uh, I've just opened on MS Paint.
Yeah,
You're able to,
I
yeah,
can see
okay.
the Azure services, the portal.
Okay, so let me share my okay, let me share it again, one moment. I'll share the entire screen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just sharing it again. Yeah, so now you should be able to see the paint. Okay.
I can see the paint now.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, great.
Yeah.
Okay, the architecture is pretty simple. I'm going to actually do a VNet here. Yeah, this will be the VNet 1. Okay, and I am going to have another VNet, which I'll simply call it as VNet 2. Yep. And I am going to create a virtual network gateway on this VNet, so which I will be calling as gateway 1. And similarly, I will be doing a VG2 here, or deploying a gateway 2 here. Yeah, and I will be establishing a tunnel between these two virtual network appliances. Yeah, so which means this is the encrypted channel. Okay, this will be the this is the encrypted channel. Okay, now this is the architecture I'll be using, and I will actually show how the communication works by deploying two VMs in each network. Right. So I will be establishing the communication between these two network or these two VMs, okay, through the virtual network gateway. Okay, so this will be VM1 and VM2. Okay, so this is the architecture that I'll be following today. Right, let's quickly move on to the portal. Okay, so the first step is basically deploy two virtual networks. Okay, so you can actually see two virtual networks here, but anyway, I'll just show you what are the properties that I have used for creating this. So I have created a resource group called Azure Practice Resource Group, and I gave the name as Practice VNet 1. Okay, I already have this. Okay, now this is the name that I had given, and I've used the Northern Europe region, and click on next. The security is right now, I mean, if you actually see, this is the virtual network encryption you can actually use. Azure will automatically use the virtual network. I mean, it will encrypt all the traffic that passes through the virtual network. Right. So if you want, you can use this. For now, I'm just keeping it as default. So let's go to the IP address. Now here, there are two things that we'll need to understand. So we'll be creating two different subnets. Okay, one for the virtual network gateway, and the other one is for the front end. Okay, front end for virtual network, or basically the VMs that will be deploying. Okay, so we give the address space here, and then you click on the default uh, name, and you simply select virtual network gateway here, which will create a new subnet called gateway subnet. You don't have to give this name, it will automatically select for you. Okay, and then you give the IP address range of the address space, and this will be the starting address of the IP. Okay, and then you give the size of the virtual network, or the cider block. Right. So I have already created one for you, and then once you have done that, you can use NAT gateway. So NAT gateway is nothing but, if you have an internet connectivity, you can use NAT gateway to do a network address translation. Okay, so this will establish an outside connection with the internet world. Okay, so if you have any NAT gateway, you can simply give the NAT gateway option here. And if you have any network security groups, or if you would like to have a fine grained control over the communication channel that you are establishing, you can use the NSGs. I've already created the NSGs as well. I'll show it in the now as we proceed. I'll show you what are the rules that I have provided. Okay, and this route table normally you give when you are actually using a hub and spoke model. Okay, so this is a simple two VNets that we are connecting, so I'm not using any route tables here. And once you have given all these options, you simply click on OK here at the top or at the bottom. You'll have a save option. Okay, stop. Present. Yep. You're able to see the screen.
Yeah, you can see
Frank?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you have the option to save here, and once you save, your subnet details get stored here. Okay. And then you go on to the next, and if you have any tags here, you can give the tags. I don't have any tags. I'm keeping it default. And then you click on review and create. Okay. So now using that option, I have created the VNets here. If you go to the address space here, you will see this is the address space I'm using for my practice VNet. Yeah, and then these are the subnets that I have created. Okay, so this is the front end subnet on which I will be hosting my VM. Yeah, and this is the gateway subnet on which I will be deploying my virtual network gateway. Okay, so these are the two subnets that we will be using for today's demo. Okay, and similarly, you create the second VNet as well. Give the same address space, and then you do the subnets. Okay, give the subnets, the front end subnet and the gateway subnet. Okay, so now that you have now you're done with the VNets. Okay, so the next step, if we look at the architecture, is basically creating the gateways. Okay, so for that you click on the search bar and then you type virtual network gateways. Okay, so this virtual appliance or virtual network appliance is used for encryption. Okay, main concept is for encrypting. I've already created the two gateways, but I'll show you what are the properties that I had used. Okay, now click on create and it will take you to the properties page. Okay, now you give the gateway name. I'll simply say VG1. Yeah, and choose your region. Okay, and this is important because if you are choosing any other region, you won't be able to see the VNet. Okay, the VNet and the gateway needs to be in the same region. Okay, and these are the queues that are available. Okay, so AZ stands for availability zone. So you can choose if you want availability zone option with any of your virtual network gateway appliance. You can basically choose these. Okay, or if you want just a single instance, you go for the single instance gateway. Okay, now what are the differences here? These are the different generations of virtual network gateway. So if you actually look at the tables, you can see it supports different number of connections. Okay, so you can have 10 different connections for each of these generations, and they also provide different ingress and egress speeds. Okay, so the IOPS differs for each of these generations. So based on your requirement, you can select the particular queues. Okay, if you actually go to the virtual network gateway documentation, you can very well see virtual network gateway. Okay, if you go here, you can actually see the different options that are available. Okay, so you can see the if you click on the gateways here, it will basically show you the table, okay, of what are the different SKUs that are currently available. Okay, so if you see, this is max 10. The Gen 1 basically gives you max 10 of site to site connectivity. You can have 10 different connections, 10 different connections at the same time with generation 1, and GW1 supports 30, GW3 supports 30. So you can actually go through these tables to understand your requirement. Okay, so if you see, these are the throughputs that are currently available. Yeah, so this provides 100 Mbps, this provides 650 Mbps, 1 Gbps. 1.2 Gbps. So you can actually go through the tables, which will give you a fair idea of the SKUs that you would like to choose. Okay, since this is a demo, I've just chosen the VPN GW2 SKU. Okay, so once I have done that, you can actually choose the generation. I've just left it as default here, and choose the VNet to which you would like to uh, associate this with, because I already have another gateway associated with this practice VNet. You're getting this error message. Otherwise, it will basically choose the VNet and it will give you the subnet details here. Okay. Now, once you have done that, you will need to do a you will need a public IP address associated with this virtual network gateway. As I said, the encryption that is happening here happens on a public level or the internet level. Okay, so for any internet level transactions, you will need a public IP address. Okay, so you can use the existing public IPs that you have, or you can create a new one. Okay, and then once you've done, I'm just keeping the rest of the things as default. And if you see this active mode, I mean, you can basically have the active passive or your active mode for your gateways. Okay, so I am keeping it as disabled. I mean, I keep it as disabled. Okay, because this will again include cost here. To minimize cost, I'm keeping it as disabled, but you can keep it enabled as well. Okay, and you want to configure any BGP. So BGPs normally involve on-prem on-prem connectivity, but since I don't have any on-prem here, I am disabling the BGP here. Okay, now once I have done that, you can simply click on review and create, which will create the virtual network gateway. You will need to understand that a virtual network gateway actually takes at least somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes for the deployment. Okay, so when you hit on create, the gateway doesn't get created automatic, or it doesn't get created immediately. It will probably take 15 to 20 minutes, uh, maybe even 20 or 30 minutes for the virtual network gateway to get deployed. Okay, so it depends on the kind of SKU that you are using. Okay, so once that is done, once your gateway is done, uh, you're ready. Okay, so the next step in the architecture is to create an encrypted channel. Okay, now similarly, this is for VNet 1, right? So I create the same gateway in VNet 2 as well. Okay, so if I click on VNet 2, you can actually see the subnets as I showed, and on the subnet you have the gateways created. Okay, so if I click on virtual network gateways, you can see two gateways created. Okay, now I'm going to create an encrypted channel. So just click on the gateway that is created, click on connections, which will help you with the peering. Okay, so just click on add, and this will take you to the properties page of the virtual network gateway. Okay, and here you can actually choose what type of connectivity you're doing right now. Or right now I'm actually trying to connect two VNets, so I'm choosing VNet to VNet. But if you have an on-prem data service that you are trying to create or trying to connect to with the Azure, you can choose the site-to-site VPN. Okay, and similarly, if you have a dedicated network from your on-prem to Azure, you can simply use the express routing. So this is a simple demo to show how VNet to VNet peering is happening. So I'm choosing VNet here, VNet to VNet. Okay, so this gateway connectivity is actually a single directional connectivity. Okay, so if I do a connection here from VNet 1 to VNet 2, the connection is unidirectional. Okay, but if I want to establish a bidirectional, that is also possible. Just click on this checkbox, you will get the option to do a bidirectional connectivity. Okay, so I simply use the VNet 1 here, or the VNet 1 peering, VNet to peering. Just give the names of the peering, the region as well, and then click on settings. Okay, and this is where the main part begins. Okay? So you choose the gateways that you would like to connect. Okay, I'm choosing the gateway 1 as the first gateway, gateway 2 as the second gateway. It's already there, so it is actually showing us the peering access, but you choose the gateways appropriately. Okay, and then you generate a shared key. Okay, so this shared key is like an authenticator for you, authentication for you, like a password, right? So the connection between two networks are authenticated using the share key. So ensure that you actually store this in a key vault, and then you share it here. Okay, so that way your key is actually secure, and no one will be able to identify that. Okay, so you generate a shared key here, and this shared key will get automatically propagated to the other network, or the two VNets here. Okay, so I've created the shared key, and this is the protocol, right? So this protocol is nothing but your tunnels, right? You have the IPsec tunnels that you are creating. So which protocol I'm going to use here? So I'm simply choosing the default value that the Azure provides me. Okay, here this is the policy. Okay, IPsec policies are your encryption techniques. Okay, are your encryption values. Okay, so I'm choosing the default here, but if you have a custom encryptions that are available within your organization, you can simply choose that. Okay, so this should basically match the on-prem values, or your the site 2 values here. Okay, so you can choose the encryption version here, AES256. The SHA or the keys that you are going to use, you can provide them here, and then once you do that, you can simply click on review and create. But here, since it is a demo, I'm simply using the default platform enabled ones, platform enabled encryption for this connectivity. Okay, so the rest I'm not changing. I'm just keeping it as default. And next is tag. You can simply give the tags if you have, but I don't have any. Click on review and create. Okay, so once you do that, it will take at least 15 to 20 minutes for the peering to get established. Okay, so right now what you have done is you have created two VNets, you have created the gateways, and you have established communication between those two gateways as well. Now how will we know the gateway connectivity is working or not? So for that, I'm going to deploy two VMs. Okay, one in each VNet. So I have deployed the VM1 in VNet1, and VM2 in VNet2. Okay, and to facilitate the connectivity, right, communication between those two networks, I have also deployed the energy rules. Okay, so I would like to have a fine grain control over what sort of communication is happening or will be happening between the two VMs, right? So if you see, I have simply enabled the ping here, right? I can simply do a ping, or I can even do a custom outbound, right? So you can actually have do connectivity or telnet connectivity over port 443 or port 80, right? You can have any port here. That you would like to communicate over. Okay, so you can mention whatever rules that you would like to have a control over. So those rules will come under the energies here. And similarly, I have done the same thing in the VM2 as well. Okay, so if you see here, I have updated both the inbound and outbound rules here. Okay, so here, if you see, the inbound is allowing the ping to come, and this is the RDP enabled to have the um, RDP connection to the VM2 here. Okay, and this is for the port 443 connectivity. Okay, so with all this in place, this architecture is done. I have created VNets, I have created gateways, created the encrypted channels, I have deployed the VMs for communications. Okay, so let's quickly go to the VMs. Okay, uh, now what is the, let's get the, this is the private IP of the VM2. Okay, so I go to VM1 and then you click on network settings. You click on the run command. Okay, and then click a PowerShell. Okay, so what run command does is basically it will run commands within the VM. Okay, so right now I'm choosing a run command to execute PowerShell. Okay, so okay, I'll simply say ping. Okay, PowerShell script ping. Right. And okay, it is still in progress. Let's just wait for it to complete. Meanwhile, I'll just create a duplicate tab. Okay, now I'm trying to ping the VM2 from VM1. Okay, so let's see if it is working. So the execution is in progress. In the meanwhile, I'll go to home, go to VM2, click on command PowerShell script. Let's see. Yeah, if you see here, the ping is now working. Okay, so I have got a response from the VM2 here. Okay, so this is the private IP and I have a response from VM2. So this shows the connectivity from VM1 and VM2 is established. Okay, so let's quickly do the same thing in VM2 as well. This is the IP address of VM1. uh, let's do the same thing in VM2. We'll see if it is working. Okay. Now I have received a response from VM1 as well, from VM2. Sorry, from VM1 to VM2. Okay. So the bidirectional connectivity is now established. So this is how you actually create connectivity between two VNets using virtual network gateway. Okay. Now I would like to actually show you one more option here. If we go to gateway, click on the gateways that you had created, you see this point to set configuration, right? This is nothing but I am going to basically create a connectivity from a particular system, right, within this network. Okay, I will have say a laptop, right, from a work from home option. Okay, so I would like to give access to this particular VNet resource. Okay, so for that purpose, you will configure the point to site configuration. Okay, so if you click on configuration, you give the address pool. This address pool is nothing but uh, your system or your laptop. I mean any addresses or address space on which your systems are deployed. Okay, so to which you would like to give access to. So you give the CIDR block here, and then you give the tunnel type. Okay, the authentication, it should be either Azure certificate based, or you can, it can also be the active directory based or the Entra ID based. Radius is nothing but your domain service, right? your domain service or your federations. So that is basically your radius authentication. So you can use any of these type to authenticate your connectivity. Okay. So once you have done that, you simply have to download this VPN client and install it in your the laptop. Okay. So once you have done that, the agent starts running in the background, and the connection gets established with the gateway, or the virtual network gateway here. Okay. So now you again have access to the VNet resources, and you can start communicating with the different resources that are hosted on those VNets. Okay, so this is basically your VNet to VNet VNet to VNet communication over virtual network gateways. Okay, now if you want to do a direct peering, it is very simple. You go to the VNets here, click on peerings. Okay, I already have a VNet to VNet peering here. Simply click on add. The remote peering link is basically like, I'll say, peering to VNet 2, right? This is resource manager. I don't have a classic anymore. This is resource manager. Select the virtual network, which is okay. This is already peered. I can't choose this, but you actually choose the peering or the VNet to which you want to peer. Okay, and these are the options that you will choose. So the first option is nothing but I am giving access to the second VNet to allow the access to my VNet one. Okay, and second one is you are basically allowing access for the forwarding network or forwarding communications from VNet 2, okay, to VNet 1, which means if there are any other networks that are paired with VNet 2, those traffics can also reach the VNet 1. And this is for border gateway patrolling, or your gateway, allow gateway or route server, which is like if you have a gateway, like how I have done, you can simply click on this a gateway, which will again forward the communications that are coming into gateways. Okay, so if I'm actually doing a point to site connectivity, I will be enabling this option here. Okay, and similarly this option is the other way, like a bidirectional communication. If I want to forward any traffic from this network to the gateway, I will be enabling this option, right? So once you have done that, this is the second pairing that you will be doing. Okay, so this is the bidirectional communication. You give the pairing to VNet 1, so which means this name will be this pairing will be done in the second VNet. Okay, so to establish the bidirectional communication between VNet 1 and VNet 2. Yeah, so again the same option. Once you have given that, you simply click on add. Your peering will be done, and your VM to VM connectivity will be established. Okay, so these are the few techniques, or the two techniques that Azure provides for VNet to VNet communication. Okay, so yeah, with that, I think I've come to the end of my demo session. So if there is any questions that you would like to ask, yeah, we can. I'll throw the forum for Q&A now.
Yeah, that's great, Arun. Good example of those two different techniques for the VNet to VNet. We don't have any questions in the chat, so we'll hand it over to Joseph for finishing up the stuff on Microsoft Forms.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Great
Stopping my share
presentation,
now.
Arun.
Very good. So Joseph, share your screen there, and you can finish off that bit on the Microsoft Forms that you've done the last few weeks.
Can you hear us, Joseph?
Yeah, you can see it there now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we can see your screen. Yeah.
can't hear Joseph.
I can't hear you there now, Joseph.
Oh, so sorry, I was speaking on mute.
Yeah.
So
Okay. We got you.
I was saying that Arun, that was great. Thank you very much for taking your time to explain those, and I really appreciate that. So within the next 10 minutes, maybe we should just look through what we have been doing. So we've been working on this. Last week we tried to create branching. So this is a quiz. So and this is coming from a Microsoft free account, not the M365 account. So it's very interesting that you could have all of these features for free. So since it's a quiz, of course, we know that timing is very important when it comes to exams. So that's why I want us to look at the settings part of what we have been doing. So the duration of the test, you have to state it, and how you do that is to come to setting up here, and then you come down to where you have set the duration. Let's say we want to put it at 10 minutes, so we can put it there, 10 minutes for the candidates. And then just to look at this, if we have more questions, then I think we would have option to shuffle them. And coming down, we can see the option to show progress bar. So we can check it to show progress bar. So if you want to get a mail to this mailbox that is signed in here, whenever there is a response on the form, of course, you can do that. If you check this, you will just get a response when a user. So when the test is finally submitted, if you want to customize the thank you message, then you can type in here, or you can leave the default. So allow respondent to save their response. Of course, if you want that, you can. Of course, if you don't also, you can just uncheck that. So looking up here, so the start and the end date is perhaps you want to allow the exam to run for a certain duration. You can turn this on to set when you want the form to be active and when you want it to be inactive. But if you want to manually say the exam period is over, then you can just come here and just uncheck this and everything goes. They are not going to be able to respond to it again. So just to check, all these settings just went back to default when we did that. So let me just scroll down to check if the one's still there, the progress bar. So that's for the duration. So it's showing that it's down 10 minutes. So I'm looking at I will just quickly look at this other one that should give it a bit of just spice it up to make it look nice. Of course, you know that the preview is this on the desktop, and on the mobile it's just going to be like this. So we can make it look better by coming to here where you have style. So if you check style, then you have option to give it nice design. You can even customize your own design that you want to also put, but we'll just quickly you can not even upload your picture to it, but we'll just quickly come back to this and just pick one design that is already available here. Maybe we just want to give it very fine design, maybe off with this. Yeah, so that should just, let's see how the preview is going to look now. So this is how the form looks, and it's saying it's 10 minutes for the quiz, and on mobile is this. So having said that, I just want us to go back to see how those branching we created last week will be, and how you can as well see the responses that the candidates have provided on the form. So we'll just come to, let's just do preview here, and then we're going to be responding from the mobile this time. Remember that we have branching here. So this is just going to say the name of the candidates and then the category. Remember the branching that we looked at last week. So when we pick senior, then questions that will come will be the category for senior. Then if you pick junior, then the category for junior would come out. Let's say James is in senior category, and let's just see when he clicks on next, then it's going to see what is the founder's name. So remember, we set a response for this as well. So, and then the rating for this, and then the dating for this, we can fix a date and next to where we give feedback. This is on the mobile. So this is how different it is looking now. So, but there's something I want us to look at, because I'm not seeing the timing showing me here, perhaps because we are doing preview. So, but let's see if we come back to get the link to the form and open it in the browser. Let's see what we have. So collect responses, and then let's just copy the URL and let's open a new tab and paste that here. Excuse me, that didn't copy. Let's come back to read to collect responses. Copy. Okay, I just want to see the progress bar up there, if it's actually showing. So this is saying the exam is timed for 10 minutes. Let's see how it is. Okay, good. So you can see the timing counting down already, and the progress bar that we enabled is here, showing the progress of those candidates, just so their eyes can be fixed up here as they are responding to their questions. Okay, so let's pick junior category this time. Remember, so when we go next, so the progress bar will just be moving. Then select the options that best suits your favorite food. Let's just say, I'd rather not say. And then remember, we just did all of this randomly, and this is a text response. So this will just be a test response. And remember, this is ranking that we could switch just to make sure we sort this. And then if we do next, this takes us again to feedback directly without seeing the question, the response that the senior category would respond because of the presence of the branching that is present in this form. So if we do all of this and then we submit this, so this is the form submitted. Because we enable the respondent to see their results, they can click to view the results and see if they are correct or not. Of course, we can also disable this depending on the requirements, that the candidate should not be able to see what they provided as response at the end of the test. So if we come back to the form here, and then let's just say we do a refresh. I'm just looking at the responses. So that should update with extra 2. I think we did 3 responses the last time. So if I come here, so this is just going to display like a dashboard to show me the candidates that have responded already. I'm not sure if I deleted the previous response overview, but I just have only 3. I think we did 2 now, and we did 1 before maybe. So this is the general dashboard to see how or what the students are responding per question that the provided response to. And there are charts that are automatically created for the examiner to see what they want to see. There is option also, I'm not sure where that is hiding, that I'm supposed to quickly just view that in Excel form to, okay, so I opened it just before the show, just to look at what I have had. So it could also be viewed in an Excel format just for you to see the responses that the candidates give, and scoring would just be very, very easy, especially if they are numeric questions. So I just want to say that this, again, it is all free just because you have Microsoft accounts that you use for your Microsoft Learn or one of those Microsoft services that is on, private accounts. You can have access to this beautiful feature. So I will encourage you to explore this because it is very interesting. If you go deep into the usage, it can be actually appreciated for every beautiful thing you can design in CBT examination. So this will be all. I promise to keep it to 10 minutes, and this is 11 minutes already. So we'll take it up from here the next time. Perhaps we'll look into some other areas. So thank you very much for your time.
So, Joseph,
Thanks, Joseph.
is that the free version?
Yeah, it's free to use. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks different from my version.
That's
that one.
free to use. There is no M365. There's no. Sorry?
It looks different. It looks different from the one I use. I don't know if they've got any 1 or 2 adjustments.
At the
I
write-up, you could see Go Premium. If you look at the write-up, you'll see Go
I saw
Premium.
that.
Yeah, that's because it's actually like just a free tool.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I'm really
definitely.
interested if it's exactly the same or if there's any differences.
Oh,
It's
okay.
actually very,
The
very-
interface for
very-
yours
if
is
I
different from
bring-
his own.
Go ahead, Solomon.
Paul, can you hear me?
I can, yes, sir.
Yeah. So I was saying yours, the interface, is it different from what you're seeing?
Last week it wasn't. This week it was different.
Okay. Do you mind probably sharing yours, and maybe Joseph can actually look at yours, and then we'll see where the difference is coming from.
Okay, let me just give you 2 seconds.
Okay.
Office.com. Let's go to Microsoft Forms. Refresh the page. So let's go back to share the screen. Present. Share the screen. Entire screen. Share. So if I go into my forms, sample forms, sample form. So can you see just the layout here is a little bit different? If I go to responses, Excel is straight here now. And it's just a different layout. And the style.
So I think there's something like settings I was seeing on his own at the top.
That's my settings are here.
Okay.
So it was slightly different. So I'm just wondering if the free version is the same as the paid version. It looks a little bit different.
Yeah,
I think
it's a
yours
little
might have
different.
more features.
It's a little bit different. Because the Excel part is really important for some people. And that's a little bit different. Because the Excel part, I couldn't find, I was looking on your screen to try and find it, and I couldn't see where that part was. So I think it's like I might have to check it out myself, but it looks slightly different.
The Excel is actually good for like taking data.
So this, yeah. Okay, so I can see mine now. I can see mine. Perhaps I didn't click.
Hang on, I'll stop sharing. 1 moment. I'll just stop sharing.
Correct
Joseph.
responses.
Joseph, can you share yours again?
Okay. Let me see. Present. Share.
Last week it was exactly the same as what I had. That's why I found it funny.
Yeah, so let me bring this back here.
Yeah, we can see your screen now.
I want to. So this is the paid. This is the Office 365. Yeah. Are you sure this is not what you have?
That's what I have. Yeah.
Okay,
They
so I'm
might
just going to
might
pull this.
take
Let
it
this
away.
load. I'll bring it back here.
Okay, they might have taken off 1 or 2 features.
I think, Paul, that's because you paid for the more expensive version, I'd say.
I don't know. I just got the. I don't know. I'm not rich.
But I think
So
this
if
form for a free version is actually, the features are actually amazing.
It's amazing. Considering it's free, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you click on Insights and Actions? The arrow.
insights and actions here.
Yeah.
Oh, see here.
No.
So I think it was hiding under here.
Oh,
I think this
let's see.
Excel is different from
Let me see
yours.
what the form look like.
Oh,
The Excel.
there it is. This is too exciting. Oh, is it gonna work?
So one very cool thing here is
I think
his network.
Joseph's networking,
And
your
this is
Yeah.
going
networking is
to
slow, I'd say.
So I think one thing we can actually check, we can probably check the features
OneDrive
that are
Live.
missing in the free version. Try to compare both of them.
Can you still hear me?
That would be like, yeah, Joseph, we can hear you.
Hello?
I think your network was a bit laggy.
Okay.
Hi, Joseph.
So if I look at, I'm trying to look at.
Oh,
Yeah, we can
Yes,
see
I can
the
hear you
Excel
now.
now. Yeah, we can see the Excel now. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just hiding under insights. It's just hiding under
Okay.
here, insights.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're nearly up on the hour, Paul. We can run it on another 10 minutes if you want to do a quick Copilot
Oh,
thing.
no, I think I'm happy with this session for the moment. I think it's normally an hour, so I'm happy to do it next time. No
We'll
worries.
do it next week. Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. And Solomon, you can hang on to yours until next week.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So it looks like we have a good few sessions lined up for the next couple of weeks anyway. And Joseph will be continuing with the Microsoft forms. We'll be doing more Copilot stuff. And Solomon, what were you going to do for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Azure role-based access control, and if there's time, I can just do a versus between the Entra ID roles, because I know sometimes people kind of, try to get which is which. So I will just try to look at both of them.
Sure. That would be good.
Yeah.
So Frank,
So,
what actually interested me to go into the Microsoft Forms and quiz was because it was free, and I know people would want to explore the features there. So I made a video on YouTube, and a lot of questions came, and I tried to address it. And some guys were amazed by what they were able to do with the free version of Microsoft Forms. So I think this extent that we have gone with Forms, 3 weeks now, I'm sure that a lot of persons have learned one or two from it. So maybe I would want to start M365 full-fledged because I'm preparing for MS102. So I think that will help me as well.
okay, very good. I'd like to see some stuff on that, Joseph. I started using Microsoft Forms myself in the last couple of weeks. Never really knew they were there. So very good. We're getting lots of comments coming in.
This is something I was playing around with today.
Okay.
This is a Microsoft expert describing Maradona's goal.
Okay.
I thought it was quite cute.
Yeah, Jay, you just done that with one click of the button. That is cool. That will drive a lot of traffic, really, you know, to Dan's YouTube, my face, or my YouTube channel.
Do you think so? Oh yes, it's going out, isn't it, Trip? Oh, I should have put it in the private chat, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We'll check the YouTube channels and wherever. So I'm just going to end the live broadcasting. So exciting stuff ahead for us in the next few weeks. So join us at the same time every Saturday here on the Azure and AI Show. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.